Start things off that both of these teams seem very prevalent on. But again, it'll be a start on Bank, Hibana, Dokkaebi, Cade, and Maestro taken off of the board. So a lot of those iconic Power 5 operators, those aggressive plays attempted by Nears, and realize this one's right over there, so we'll try and play things a little bit more carefully. They're starting to push him, though, from the top of this staircase. And the Candela in isn't actually going to do anything, but he was switching weapons and caught by Spiker, so he'll still get the kill, effectively blinded. Even though we could still see, all he'll see is himself losing his life. Now, one stuck behind the server stack. Kurt's going to have to fight his way out, and he's ready for the first one, but not ready enough for the trade. Good plays from Wildcard to mitigate that possible threat and make sure it's still an even man count before their plant attempt.
And the real problem now is, does Falls have any more echo cams to actually delay this plant attempt by Wildcard? They have 27 seconds left, so if he still does have one drone up, he can still deny this plant, but so many Quintelas are going out. Bosco's still being able to get the plant down. Falls can't do anything about it. He's having to just run through the smoke to try to stop this.
And Swag at least able to get something, but now he's left in a 1 versus 3. Would have been 4 if he hadn't gotten on the board, but really all that's going to do is give an opportunity to say that at least he got his, but beyond that, nothing much done. Kanzin from the CCTV hatch is going to shut him down.
Deny them from getting back into that part of the map. So right now, Nears just trying to do everything he can to either get this kill, and he does. Gives them the option now to go back into Tellers and to Archive, so now Wildcard need to make sure that that area of the map is safe for them.
And the only real progress made by Wildcard, other than breaking open that roof, which didn't net any kills, is opening up this staff room wall. So it looks like that's their plan for late round, is to just try and play around staff and get into that part of the objective. Play around that Kiba behind the bomb chassis is not going to be long for this world. That's Falls who will fall, and they're ready for this flank up blue stairs as well. Reduct needs to at least time this pretty well, but actually, instead, they're going to try and get active and drop the hatch on him, and they will get that kill, but just before Reduct gets active himself, gets another one just before that. However, Kanzin with the next one means that Nears has to be the one to make a miracle happen. Only one player to really kill here once Rampy starts to get that plant down. Also has a C4 in pocket, so could possibly try and threaten that. Breaks open the top half of the wall, gets the kill, and now he's just prone behind it, waiting for Kanzin to do anything, but there's not a thing that the Twitch can do. 6Karma, fire back in the open area. Lobby, and it looks like Wildcard want to go at this from that side of the map, at least to an extent. Only real hard breaching on the map is that guy, but look at this play in Garage. Kanzin picks the Nook to try and
win this round out, but there's still the mirror windows from Reduct earlier, and they don't have any more Ace Selmas from Spiker to actually open those up. So they're realistically just having to swing and get as much information, but they can't find it in time. They're just having to bull rush their way into Side Happy.
6K doing such a good job and always going down with at least one. They came for a kill. They're going to get it. Spiff, though, came for a round win, and he's not going to go down without a fight either. Tries to get back in, and he manages to make it just a 1 versus 2. A little bit far away from each other are these last two players, but the rotate towards the outside of Janitor Hall is surely going to make things better. Kurtz positions close to his last remaining teammate, as he can't drop the hatch. It would be suicide to just walk into that server's player, and the C4 isn't actually going to do too much at all. Spiker, though, got up at the perfect time, and the opener of the round is found on his Swag. The Monty, though, in close quarters, exactly where he wants to be. We'll get that trade, and with still a decent amount of time left, they have that blue stairs control, but now they've also taken down Spiff. The player behind server rack is still there, though, and Reduct needs to start to pressure him. Falls should be ready for this play from the hatch, getting those comms from his teammate, but somehow Bosco not dead yet. I have no clue how he was able to get away with that scot-free, and it's just that looming threat, that presence of Reduct that needs to be a problem, but Rampy is taking him down, and so now it's a problem for the attackers, because they don't know what to do here. It's still that player sitting behind server stack, and you haven't done anything to pressure him out. Some Grimbees you could use, as well as some flashbangs, but you want to save those for the objective too, and he gives himself away, but still doesn't die to Falls. Eventually Kurtz will kill him. Finally that frag found, but because of the way the wall's set up, they can't quite get into the default plan. So much thought of by Wildcard, because of all this early round delay, it's it's gone horribly wrong at the end. Still an advantage, though, for 6K. If they can stick this plant, it could go really well for them. Matter of fact, Nears takes matters into his own hands and makes sure that the end of that round, the stock shield player has against him. And now going to start to threaten that stock shield player himself. But this is kind of like what Wildcard were doing last round, where they're forcing 6K to pressure them out of some of these comfortable positions, but it's not going well. Spiker with the opening pick again, but Reduct is actually into the middle of the bomb site, not for very long though, as Nears and Falls left in the 2 versus 4. They managed to get one, but that may be the only they get at all, and in fact it is. Rampy and Kansan will close it in. Wildcard fire back finally for the first round. And you know, giving away that server presence, and maybe that's something that you wanted to have for later on. Flores drone not shot yet, and Falls not shot yet on the defuse attempt, at least not until Bosco finally notices where he is, gets the confirmed kill with the smoke canister, and that's a problem. Diffuser abandoned very far forward, and look at how far backward everyone on Wildcard is. They're aware that the big way in that 6K have here is to try and drop some of those hatches, and so drop some of those hatches they may try and do, but Wildcard with crossfire after crossfire set up just to counter that very attempted play. Kurtz looking to put a C4 or put a smoke grenade down on the mirror window, but instead Bosco has another smoke canister and even yet more to use on the push in from into CCTV, but Nears is able to get one kill, and the Monty is covering from one angle. C4 on the wrong side! It wasn't quite close enough! Spiff kills Rampy, and the chaos in the diffuser is down! And so that's a big problem for Wildcard, because that verticality can start to bite them. Kurtz can start to bite them. The Montaigne's still alive as well, and now they're at a man disadvantage with the lowest health player in the lobby on their own team. Spiff knows he has no chance if he stays downstairs, so we'll have to try and retake. Drone on his position, and they're going to give those comms away to their player in open, or rather 2 of their players in open, that this is a play trying to go upstairs. And now that Kansan's given himself away on the basement, at least they'll be able to get one, but surely he's not long for this world. They even dropped the hatchback on him just to let him know. And really... yeah, Falls is still in server, and they're trying to isolate him in the wrong spot of the map. But Wildcard, though this is a smart idea for a take, it seems to have been sniffed out by 6K. Swag's gonna get one on his spiff, but that was only in response to Spiker getting the opener. Rampy trying to work his way towards the site, but he's been flashed out by Spiker, who needs to have a better take in, but it doesn't matter, because all of his teammates are killing everybody. It's just Kurtz left alive, who gets one almost caught on the wrong side. He can shut down this default plan. He can shut it down through the smoke. He gets knocked down, but it barely didn't work, because there was still just enough time on the clock for Spiker.
But do they actually know that Kurtz is still just lurking in the middle of this corner? He's just riding his spot out. He gives himself away, is not able to get the first fight, is completely goes the way of Wildcard with Spiff fighting 2 on the top floor. Play around.
And he's sitting in tellers right now, so it seems to be Falls looking the wrong, at least as to where Rampy is, but Nearest is going to go down to Spiff, so that's that Teller's Archives player trying to come back into the mix, but not going to do too much. Reduct with 1 kill, but Falls dies right afterwards. And now here comes Reduct trying to make a play happen. Knows one's down inside of Square. Ends up with another one. Not quite able to ADS in time to get Bosco, though. And so Bosco will get him, and Wildcard will get yet another round on the attack.
Which they're very actively running out of. They only have 4 active with 1 left in pocket, so they need to find at least 1 more advantage going into this. Otherwise, this execute is not going to go well, considering how much utility and just finding another kill is going to work for 6Karma.
Kurtz traded out right after he dies, though, and here comes the player from Janitor, but he gives up his car. He gives away his hand just a little bit too soon. He puts it on their backs when the hand wasn't quite done. And so the play made to keep himself alive by Reduct, who then manages to kill Spiff, who had things harder, more hesitant to push than they would be if they knew exactly where everybody on that defensive side, or at least generally where they would be. I'm not quite sure what Nears was doing there. I'm going to be totally honest. Rampy just given a chance back into that round and a lifeline gifted back to the attacking side who seemed to be struggling so much. Swag with a long angle held under the exact angle that Rampy seems to be tempted to walk into. And he'll start to make that play. Swag, a little bit of a swing. Can he get that kill? Yes, Rampy can. A third for him. Doesn't have the case, though. Kansan does, and he's the one who needs to start to sneak in. The Gumai gonna make things awkward. He'll have to pull it out immediately, and then the time he spent doing that, Falls got his teammates. So as close as it almost became, thanks to Rampy's efforts, they just don't seem to be enough. And Kansan, case in hand, won't even access the bomb site at all throughout that round. And 6Karma managed to pull things back.
Wildcard, making sure that they can hold on to it. So that wall is already open, and they may just go for a plant right now.
As a matter of fact, they will. Gas canisters are going to make things awkward, but Redux actually not affected by it at all. On the other side of that coin, though, Swag very affected by it. Rampy has managed to C4 down Kurt. Spiff, the only one on the defense who's lost any HP, and even though he's lost a lot, this play attempting to catch the defense off guard inside the site has completely backfired. Now Falls just hoping against hope that he's given an opportunity to find someone too far forward, and that's exactly just happened. Nears with a big kill, but right behind him, it's Kansan to trade out Spiker and make sure that it's not a major disadvantage yet.
Up right up above them, so if they continue to try to go for this server side take, they're just gonna have to deal with the problem of Kansan just moving his way down, is taking down Swag with the case in hand. So now it's all of a sudden left to just really Redux to try to take care of the problem, but Kansan's just gonna wipe everyone out of the way. They did not take care of him, and he is full.
Quite yet. Redux does see the opportunity at least to walk pretty far up Janitor Hallway. And already starting to put pressure on that stock player, but that just means the stock shield player is going to fall back and to put pressure on the marble stairs lurk. And then the play from Kansan on top of the conference table is going to get yet another kill for this defensive side. If this fight is lost by Kansan, though, it could get really, really rough. They're under serious threat. And Falls not actively doing anything quite yet. We've talked about it in games in the past. This guy, the anchor for the team, doesn't want to have to be the one to get active. That first one will be Swag. Swag with a triple kill! What on earth happened to Wildcard? He did swing in and kill both of those janitor players, and now one's just backed right into Falls! Oh, it's a calamity of mistakes from Wildcard on the defensive side, and they've thrown away the 4 versus 2 to make it a 1 versus 2 for Spiker. Still, with a little bit of space to work with, but he knows he can't walk forward because the hole that his teammate was just shot through. However, he's been spotted here by that drone, and so he'll have to back up even further still, waiting for that push in through the main wall, because he knows that's the only real way they can access this objective. Flick not quite in for Swag either, and now Spiker has even the odds between himself and Falls. Throws a Kiba to let himself cross, and then shoots that drone that was relaying info on his position. So Falls is going to have to try and play the guessing game, unless they've got another cam in the site, which seems highly unlikely. But walking into Janitor, he's been spotted and killed. Spiker neutralizes that position and pulls the round back at the end, just as well. When it comes to the call-outs of the rooms that they're sitting in. And right now, Wildcard happy to give them that control. Spiker down below with good info on the objective itself could really work magic, but it's Spiff to work the magic of the opening kill and his Swag. Rampy seemingly understood here inside of Trump, but will his position be super expected? The answer, not quite, but eventually Falls is going to recourse correct and get that frag. Player downstairs, though, spotted out. Now they know that Spiker is going to be a problem later on. Falls has just killed Kansan, though, and so more and more players falling on the objective itself. As a matter of fact, the only 2 players remaining are completely off of the site, or rather completely off of that second floor. Bosco, the only one on the objective, is Spiker, still sitting inside of Archives, and with 55 seconds, you have a little bit of time to work with as you get towards open area.
And right now, 6Karma are now in a great position to still try to open up as much of this floor space, make sure that Spiker and Bosco had to play as far away from the bomb site as possible, because now they're completely vacating any position actually near this hatch drop in stock, that they can get enough space, feel comfortable to go for that plant, make sure that Wildcard cannot move back into Archives and Teller's area. This could be a still round win for them, just based off utility alone, but they missed on the first Candela.
Oh, it's going to blind everybody in stock, too. The player inside of Archives, though, trying to go for an aggressive play up towards the more square stairs, but the drop of the hatch has gone poorly. But now, Bosco needs to unprone, and so he un-ADSs and unalives at the very end, and Kurtz will shut down Spiker away from the site itself. Good vision is 6K. Some control. And this is one of those sites, or one of those attack strats where it feels like not too much is done, and then you're basically into the site itself out of nowhere. So that could be a big distinction, but here goes Spiff getting the first kill in years. He's in downstairs in Tellers, and there's another player downstairs with him as well. Front desk player has died, but Spiff will trade it out into Falls. The elevator player has died right after that, though, so Redux actively taking a lot of map control, and he's isolated 2 players downstairs. Barbed wire on the other side of Marble is going to mean that they have to walk all the way around his square, which number 1 is going to delay a lot of time, and number 2 is going to mean that they are basically forfeiting all of that side of the map to 6Karma. That is, unless somebody goes to lobby, which is exactly what Spiff is doing right now. They have the info on him, though, and the yellow pings on the walk up the staircase aren't really good enough to get the kill, because Spiff just smokes Kurtz, and then another on for an ace. Spiff, the new recruit, gets swagged down to 24 health, and it's just the Flores outside. repel down the windows. Not able to get that ace's spiff, but it doesn't matter because Swag not able to pull things back. And Wild, even more time that could be delayed. Problem is, do they know about him? Answer now is yes, as the Candela will go through for Bosco. Not Spiker on the Ying this time. Trying to just walk down on Falls, but he kills him. Trying to swing wide and throw another gas canister. Gets a little bit too greedy, and now, with a minute to go, Wildcard have all the control they could ask for and a man advantage.
And there's no Goyo canisters on this part of the map, so a CCTV plant is going to be very easy for them unless they get a player into that garage angle, try to deny that default plant. But Wildcard have a 2-man advantage and have all the cards on that table with 30 seconds left on the clock.
No Candelas left, so at the very least, the defensive side should be able to see the players that they're trying to take fights against. However, 4 people stacked up on the CC hatch. Feels like a troll strat, but it's actually quite well thought out. The smoke canisters are going to facilitate anywhere planting anywhere inside the bomb site, and that plant spot not going to be expected at all, so it will go down just fine. And the round after that seemingly going to be just fine as well. It's Nears in a 1 versus 4 that he will promptly lose. And in a map that 6Karma, though they didn't lose it promptly, they lost it eventually. And Wildcard proving to the world why they choose to go back to back.
I mean, and yet another very close fight going the complete opposite direction of what we saw in the conference stage. Very tough fight for both teams, but Wildcard still pulled it out at the very end, showing exactly why they wanted.
Karma all makes sense. Brava, not an operator we saw a ton of last map. However, does make sense, given to see her taken down already here, just because of how strong that operator. Not sure if they both ended up outside the building, but they will both make it back in just fine. And Near's gonna descend the white stairs and make sure that Bosco is shut down. Good try in the middle of cocktail bar, but instead Spiff gonna drop down to pillar and leave just Kanzan alone on that 3rd floor. Still a risk though, at least to try and push forward into, but Near's ready for everything. A double kill from him in that instance to make it a triple kill on the entire round, and the shotty will close at 4K. Suppressed through the floor. The supernova
Where they can to make sure that they know exactly where Wildcard are. Try to isolate that one pick, but Kansas is going to find one isolate onto Kurtz. There's no entire follow-up by 6Karma, but they're now finally getting the go-ahead to just zip into the building, but it's falling apart for them, Happy.
Swag knocked and finished as soon as he tries to get in there, and Spiff, ready for the play-in from heaven, could possibly swing this from a better angle. And he'll look to do that right now. But Falls has actually made his way up far up into the bar. Redux with 1 kill as well. Now, player inside is stuck, possibly to get caught by Falls, but instead he'll get caught. But 2 players on 6K still alive are going to get 1 kill each. Do the math. It's a 2 versus 2. With Reduct and Nears in very far forward positions, or rather, Reduct in a far forward spot. Nears still trying to work on getting into the building itself. The pixel swing from Spiker somehow doesn't result in him giving his life away. And now he and Rampy are going to try and fight heavily for this top floor pressure, but Nears is going to pressure Rampy even heavier. And now they'll rotate outside the building seemingly to come through, but the Lion going to slow him down just long enough for Reduct to get into the site itself. And he's already so close to Spiker. The full mag of the 919 can't quite open the window, and so instead Reduct E1D will pop. Still no play just yet. Another set of Bs goes through. Flashbang in, and now Swag has died. Kurtz, though, still doubling down on that white window. The flashbang maybe not going to do too much, but Bosco will eventually be felled. So it's effectively a 4-on-4. Bosco's still down, and 2 more kills in the feed for 6K.
Start of the round has been disastrous for them. This may be the opportunity for him. He may have heard that, actually.
He heard the drone, and a great shot for Rampy to make sure the flank is at least able to bear some kind of fruit, but he has to fall back off of it. So now they seem to know where he is, or at least where he's not. Inside a piano. Play from Falls to try and lurk up white stairs with the case may go wrong here as well. I'm not quite sure what Spiker was looking at. Falls will take him down, and Rampy now in a 1 versus 3. They've kind of isolated him on the other side of the map, which wouldn't be too bad if it was mining and fireplace, but instead, it's reading and fireplace, and they could possibly sneak in to the site itself of reading, and Rampy, and now the lowest HP player in the lobby after that engagement, trying to look through the drone hole, and he's got the right idea, but the execution just a little bit off the mark, and he can't quite see Falls so far away, and so the plant has gone down, and you feel like his odds are lowering by the minute, and Kurt's that far away with a shotty, as the supernova suppressed will close yet another round here, and with the Capital bolts already going in, it looks like it might be a very quick take, but Falls is shut down Kanzan right quick. And now the Bees are going to be off the board. I highly doubt that was what Nears wanted to do. For Bosco, but they're just going to keep waiting for this push.
The problem is they know exactly where Falls is. They know what they need to do to isolate him, but they can't find it just yet. And they continue to just fumble the bag on clearing his position. He's getting away with murder right now, but somehow the rest of Wildcard completely fall through. Now Swag is left all alone in the middle of Freezer. They know exactly where he is. He cannot find that kill on the last two players, even though he knows exactly where they are.
Oh no, and Spiker's going to catch him running away as well. The nade on his head. Not quite. The Pillars play. Rampy ready on the blitz, and he's been deadly on this operator before. Jumps through the barricade into the site. Flashbang's not going to matter. The only flashbang that matters in this objective is the one that he's got on his shield. Kurtz with 1 kill at least for 6Karma, but 2 of his teammates have died, and they've lost the site in that process. Vertical control could still be a problem, though. As Kansan watching that hatch drop, no angle set up into the site itself, except for this one that Rampy's, or rather Swag, is watching right now. Still yet to get on the board. The only player left, other than Bosco in the whole lobby, yet to get on the board. Case, though, spotted, so at least they'll have that advantage. They know what they're walking into, or at least know where they're trying to get to, but no idea. As Spiff's able to take down one. Good trade back, at least. But now Kurtz spotted out by that E1D, and Wildcard are going to go for the retake of the second floor. As soon as Swag and Kurtz try to play around that first objective, around that objective itself, Kansan going to open up the roof and make this retake as difficult as possible. Now, barely any time left either, so someone's got to hop on the case, and the Blitz is still alive. Kurtz going to take him down, but you guys haven't even contemplated the case denial, and there's not a second left in the round. Congratulations on your kill, Swag. You weren't even close to getting our first game with this team. Actually, our first game of this team of this season, he's a very good anchor, but Bosco and Kansan are going to completely dispatch of him and Reduct. So a massive 2-piece for them. The rotate back to site caught by Spiff as well. Towards VIP. If he can't shut down this lurk, it could be a really hard late round, and he'll do just that. Great frag to find. So now they can pivot back to focusing on the take into the site itself. There's a sprint right into the objective that isn't caught by Kurtz, and he's only 7 HP away from death because of the Capital Bolt. Make it 0. His Swag, the other player in this round with fire to play with, playing with fire on that swing right next to the Goyo. But he still gets the kill anyways. Case has gone down, though, in a 1v2 against a Monty and an AK-12 is never going to be easy. Bosco repelled outside to make it as hard to see him as possible, and I don't think there's anywhere that you could long-arm this that would stay away from the line of sight of Bosco. So even if Rampy can die, it's not going to matter, because Swag has basically no chance at winning this round at all if this goes the way that Wildcard expect it to, and it certainly has now. No chance for Swag to even push into Bakery at all. He knows where the rappel is, but he just can't do anything about it because Rampy's just stood in the doorway. D-Shields just to put threat on him, and he knows he's got this one round by now, so they can go for the kills. And yet again, pointless frags in a post plant. Everyone on Wildcard dies for the second round in a row, but the case defused, not even attempted. Off of that, and Wildcard have been good at that all season, converting off their opening kills on the defensive side. Play into small bake, shut down right quick by Kansan, who continues to kill, and Spiff on the board for even more. Not a soul on 6K has found a frag until Redux steps in, but he's traded out immediately from VIP. And now the player in VIP is just going to smoke off his other angle. Falls, gives away where he is, and with that, you'd have to imagine this round is just over. Wildcard finally able to get the defensive side of the board, unless there is a miracle out of Falls. But he's being watched from every single possible angle, not even able to get a kill on the VIP player, because Bosco has his cross on lockdown, and the Azami closes.
Other than a C4 being tossed out, completely misses its mark, but still, 6Karma have not been able to make their way into the building, and Spiker actually runs out, gets traded, but still, the fact that he gets 1 out of that is so impressive for them.
Holes on the freezer stock wall to make it difficult there, and also the castle barricade isolating Cigar Shop and Piano to make those two pretty hard to get into as well. Rampy with the next heal, and the walk up here from Kurtz is completely denied. It just falls in Swag, as Falls trying to make a play. Swag trying to make one towards top red on 9 health left with a Gumai taking him down all the way. Rampy finishes it off, leaves Falls in a 1 versus 3, does get a nice shot into 1. So he's at least able to ISO that flare to Kansan, but needs to know that somebody else is walking up through bar. Not quite aware of it just yet. Case is down. Not sure where the recovery could possibly come through. The cam inside a cocktail is going to give away where he is, but Bosco way too aggressively swings and gives this a 1 versus 1. Aware that somebody could possibly be in bar and so close to swinging Rampy, whether he knew it or not, Falls just on the edge of getting that 4K secured, but now Rampy swinging him, but Falls perfect timing. Falls back into stock room. As Rampy, on the other side of this bar, Falls with zero idea where to even start looking. And Rampy gives up where he is. That's all that Falls needs to try to make the play, but he's gone for the really wrong timing, and he jumps up on top of the bar as soon as Rampy tries to play it, and the extra info, way too much. Map number 1, he was great on it there, and Kurt's great in the opener here. 2 smokes into the site, and they are going to start to get this plant down soon, with Kurtz getting very active into train to try and make sure that the defending team can't quite focus on the plant going down. And that's exactly what's happened. Although there was a kill onto 1, Kurtz ended up dying. The plant still goes down. 1 player with a shield though, and somehow from outside, Spiff is still threatening this heavily. Swag on top of Red Stairs is able to do something. Runs out of ammo is Spiff. Tries to then get the kill off the Redux. Somehow we're in a 2 versus 2. Spiker's trying to stick the plant, but from upstairs, the threat of Swag is very alive and well. With the Monty just behind, Spiff trying to isolate him, and they can't quite isolate this fight. They know they have to, so Redux just falls away, and Swag still just sitting upstairs, waiting for the case to be popped. As soon as they get on that defuse, he'll shut them down. Spiff ends up denying the Monty though, and he's got time to play with. How on earth is it worked out? Wildcard, nothing can stop them on Cafe, and less than 2 seconds left, and they still win the round. 6 in a row. Gets the stairs. And here goes Bosco, prepared to get into the objective, and nobody really there to meet him. Play from the window as well. Gets into this site real quick, and it's Spiker, that window player, to take down Falls. Redux found the first pick, but the plant is found for Wildcard, and we might just see the North American League team, the only one remaining, close this out in 7 consecutive rounds. Kurtz with a kill, but it's the outside players on the post plant you need to worry about. Kurtz is worried about them though, and he's killing everyone he could possibly find. Play from downstairs is going to come through. Here goes Bosco with a frag, and Spiker with another. He's still in train. Bosco's still alive. They've still got this side of themselves, and it's Nears who is trying to flush out the player downstairs, but there's no one down there anymore. 15 seconds for him, and he's got even less time than that to hop on the case. Close player with a bailiff. Another player playing the long angle. The knife to close. Wildcard send us home in style. And 7 rounds in a row on their opponent's map pick will secure themselves this spot to prove in the grand finals that the NAL reigns supreme over T2 after all.
Rampy wanted this.